Hi,
Hello, Hazel.
you doing okay?
Yes,
Good.
not too bad.
On this wild and wintry day?
Well, it could be worse.
It could be worse. That is true. Always keep optimistic.
That's right.
Well, Rotha, would you like to maybe just tell us something a wee bit about yourself, just to start off with?
Well, I have been married to John for the grand total of 47 years,
Ooh.
1973. And to be quite honest, I dreaded coming to First Ahoghill. I was leaving a wee country church, which I loved, and everybody knew everybody, and it was just great, and I dreaded coming.
Oh,
But
all right, I didn't know that,
yes,
Rotha.
well, that is the truth, and John could tell you the same. But I wasn't long in First Ahoghill until I changed my mind, because I don't know about you, Hazel, but I have just found that the people were great.
Great,
At
good,
taking me in and making me feel welcome.
good. As a young bride.
As a young bride, yes. I have 3 children, Valerie, the eldest, Alan, and Jacqueline, of course.
Okay, and do they live all locally to you, or?
Well, there's just Jacqueline. She lives in the Whitesides Road, and she has 2 wee boys whom I love dearly. Valerie, she's the oldest, she's over in England. She's near Southampton. She has 2 wee girls. I adore them, and I was away last week to see them, because dear knows how long with this lockdown before I see them again.
Yeah.
And Alan is in Dubai.
And
he's teaching there in the British College.
Great. Do you do a few Zooms with him?
Yes, we have done Zooms. We've done family Zooms, yes, right. We have. And Bottom, we get him in Bottom quite often. Bottom we use rather than
Rotha,
FaceTime.
You're far more on than what I am. I've never heard of that one.
Well, it's just
say no more about it. Well, listen, I know you're a keen cook and a keen baker, so I have a few utensils in this little box, and they've got a question on them, so they're like a little get to know you. Okay, so
right,
I'm give you 2 options, and you tell us what your preference is. Okay. So let me see. First one. Do you fear mostly to the Old Testament or the New Testament, would you say?
Well, I go to the New Testament quite a bit, but I love the stories in the Old Testament. The stories and I'm always learning new things from the Old Testament.
That's good. Okay. Good to know. We're always learning, Rotha. Okay, on the sieve it says, would you like a walk in the fields, or do you prefer a walk on the road?
I like a walk on the road. It's more level for me, although I like a walk on the road in the countryside.
Yes. Well, you never...
Not the town.
You never know what you're going to tramp on in the field, Rotha.
That's right, that's right.
Okay, turned up the right way. Now, you were a keen singer. Soprano or alto?
No, I was soprano.
Were you soprano?
Yes.
You like soprano?
Yes.
Good. Getting up or going to bed, Rotha?
Which I prefer.
Yes.
Well, I can get up all right in the morning, but I'm not a morning person. For sometimes I don't sleep too well. I have a bit of an overactive mind, but apart from that, I had trouble sleeping anyway. But I could do things till late at night, and then it tells the tale in the morning.
You see, you can't burn the candle at both ends, Rotha.
That's right.
Okay, now, you've said about being married to John, but if you saw him walking across the yard, what would you prefer him to be walking across the yard with? John with flowers or John with chocolates?
Well, I don't think he'd be walking across the yard with any of them, to be quite honest. He is, of course, I love him dearly, but he is not one to bring me either chocolates. He would say you don't need them, and flowers definitely not. Although I do recall after Alan was born, this lovely wee blue basket of flowers came to the hospital, but somehow I do suspect my mother had something to do with it. Came from John nominally, but I think my mother had a wee bit of tipping off to do.
Well, it's maybe better just to keep that in the past and don't ask any questions, Rotha.
That's right.
Okay, the next one. Spring time or autumn time?
Springtime. I just love to see the new life coming out of everything, yes.
Yeah.
And I like to see things in the garden coming to life.
Yes, you like your garden too, that's true. Okay, now you're a keen baker, as I said. Baking shortbread or a sponge?
Oh, I prefer a sponge any day.
Yeah.
And it's not such a hash.
I know.
They're no mess.
If things don't work out for me, I get annoyed and then I don't try it for a while.
I know.
You're a teacher too, Rotha. If I say maths or English?
Well, I was always a more literary person, but I find with P6 that I preferred to teach maths.
Okay.
I found it easier to teach, and I got more attached to it because there was a definite answer at the end.
Okay.
It wasn't so much this fact and opinion and all the rest of it, you know. But you could have argued your case, you know.
I'm sure you could. Coffee or tea?
Both.
Both. You like them both?
I try to stay clear of too much coffee. I like it, but I think too much coffee is not good for me.
No. Well, that's good. It's good to have a bit of both. Okay. Quiet time in the morning or quiet time in the evening?
Well, my quiet time is best in the evening. I must admit that sometimes it's more hurried and I'm more conscious of things around me. And of course, I do keep the grandchildren, I do keep Isaac, and he comes down bright and breezy in the morning, 2 minutes after 8, you know. You have to be
Okay, this is
ready.
the last one. Do you like to watch a good documentary or the TV soap?
I confess it's only limited the soaps I watch, but I do watch them occasionally and then I maybe lose track, but I do like a good documentary, definitely.
Sometimes if you just read the Saturday magazine, you can get caught up.
Yes, that's right. That's been very handy. I've proved that too. Yeah.
Well, listen, Rotha, I'm going to ask you a few wee questions about PW, just because we're basing things on friendship and learning off one another. So what age did you start PW?
Well, I just want to say from the offstart that I really did start with Young Women's Group.
Yeah.
We had a very good young women's group in First Ahoghill, and it was actually Gwen Kernigan who asked me along to it, and I've proved it great. I was only 27 when I went to the Young Women's Group, and we had many, many times of enjoyment and real fulfillment. I just met lovely Christian women that I enjoyed, and they're still my friends today.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really nice to be able to look back and say that. So who were your friends that you went along with, or, you know, you said Gwen invited you, so was it a big step?
Gwen invited me, but there were people like Lorna Boyd. There was Noel Archer, who is now a member of Ballyweenie Presbyterian.
Right. Okay.
Jim Archer's daughter-in-law, the late Jim Archer's daughter-in-law. Yvonne Crabb, of course, Betty Blair, Maureen Scullion, and Valerie Shaw came a wee bit later, and of course then Iris Cubitt joined as a much younger person.
Oh, she'll love that. She'll love that.
She was much younger.
I'm sure you could go on and on, Rotha, but have you any favourite memories of the younger days in PW? Maybe you can spill the beans on somebody, or maybe it's better to keep that quiet.
Oh, I do, surely, because there's so many things I could have said. Every year we entertain the senior citizens, and one of my things that I like is drama.
Right. Okay.
And I was selected once for this sketch, and it was entitled Dressing a Chicken. Now, I don't know whether you've heard of it or not.
No.
But I was picked, and I was Maggie. Well, I had to follow the details from the radio, and in actual fact, I followed the details step by step on how to dress a baby.
All
But
right.
all the time I was really applying the instructions to
Very
a chicken. It was really quite hilarious.
Oh,
And then for something different, we had candlelight suppers coming up to Christmas.
okay.
And we gave it all we had because we had all the trimmings and we had the candlelight and we certainly captivated the atmosphere. It was lovely.
She did.
We had a group we would have sung in, and I can remember vividly Mrs. McMeekin, the Reverend McMeekin's wife, conducting and training us. And the piece that stands out for me was singing in God's choir in the sky. It was just lovely. And then I'm going to finish with this because this highlights one of our members. We had sales, and we took our sale to the Fairhill Market.
Okay.
Now, I must say that Gwen played a big role here because she was a dab hand at convincing or coaxing many to buy a cake.
Okay.
And I can remember vividly her going to the gate and she was getting all these farmers as they come in through the gate. But I do remember her tackling the fishman and convincing him about the quality of first Ahoghill young woman cakes. It was really terrific. And then another highlight was our trip to Rotha Congregational Church, where a number of us actually took a service for the Reverend James Logan.
Okay.
You know, James Logan was a prominent member of our BB, and Janice was a faithful member of the Young Women's Group. Now, both of them came to the Lord through Gwen and Joe's influence because they were their next door neighbours.
Right.
And that was special, taking that service. It really was.
Well, that's lovely to hear that God worked through Joe and Gwen, you know, just as next door
Yes.
neighbors. And that's maybe something we could all learn from, you know, being
That's
a
right.
good neighbour and spreading the gospel that way. Well, you
That's
speak
right.
very fondly of those times, Rotha, so you do. And it's lovely just to hear you reminisce about them. When you were in the Young Women's and then PWA and then PW, how did you learn of the mature Christian woman?
Well, one special thing was really was very good. We were invited along every year to the PWA in those days, and this night was very special. The food was great. It was all home baking, but there was just a great atmosphere. All the members, but I want to highlight just one or two of them stood out because they were so welcoming. There was Doreen Irvin, there was Margaret Boyd, Tommy Boyd's wife Margaret, Sheila Kennedy and her sister Margaret. They really did make us feel welcome. That's only to mention a few of them. Some of our young women may have resented having to leave the Young Women's Group, but I certainly didn't, because I went along to PW when I was maybe 42, 43, and I thoroughly enjoyed it too. A wee bit different, but totally enjoyable.
Good, great. Rotha, we're trying to just highlight just learning of each other. Just in this our theme or side by side. So would you have any advice you would give to a younger Christian woman?
Well, my advice would be to come along and to enjoy because the group has so many varied abilities and so many different women of all ages. And it'd be surprising just how much we learn from each other. I mean, I do learn all the time from my daughter. I learn from young ones. I have a niece, I learn from her as well. And I have learned just from watching the young people. In 1995, I was asked to be superintendent of the Sunday school. And this I took on. So needless to say, after that, PW had to become for me more in the background, although I never missed a meeting. I went along, but I found the PW was a release, a total uplifting and a blessing to me. It was just lovely for me to sit down there and enjoy everything else that was happening at the front, because when you're in the forefront, it's just nice to be sitting in the background and enjoy and learn and take in. Learn from God's word, learn from the people who are speaking and from the invited speaker. It's just very good. And there was one year in PW, we have had the theme, God is able. And I have proved that I can only do things because I have the Lord. And I mean that. At school, we had technology thrust upon us. We had this, that, and everything. But I got through. And I got through because I just simply relied on him from morning to night. So what I would say to young people, come along, enjoy the PW, and don't feel that you have to have any particular ability. You don't. You come just as we are, because that's the way Christ accepts us. And he takes us and he will supply all our need, as it says in Philippians chapter 4.
That's great, Rotha. Thank you so much. Well, it's been lovely to talk to you, so it has. And, you've done a lot of talking about learning off the young ones, and I know definitely people will have learned from your ways. And you're such a warm and welcoming person as well. So I really thank you for that. And it's been lovely just to delve into your memories of PW.
Hazel, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.
Bye, bye.
Right, hi Kirsty.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good, good. Good to see you. Anything exciting happening to you?
Not really much today, no.
You started your placement though, haven't you, working in a school?
Yes, I really enjoyed that the first day, so good to do something a wee bit different. Long
may it continue, hey?
Yes,
I hope. Well, Kirsty, I have a little pot here. I know you like journaling, and you're very good at it. And so a little pot of journaling stuff, and I'm going to ask you a few wee questions, okay? And a few wee options, and you tell me what you prefer, okay? So, just to get to know you, autumn or spring?
Spring.
Springtime. When all the things are new. Are you a spider lover or a spider runner?
They don't bother me at all.
You could get the big boys then.
Well, I wouldn't like touch them or stuff, but they just don't scare me.
Good. We know who to call them. So you like journaling? Do you like journaling with watercolors or coloring pencils?
Definitely watercolors.
Oh no, they scare me. They scare me big time. Watercolor girl. You're very good at it. That's the difference, Kirsty.
That's on my Christmas list is new watercolors.
Oh, and does Santa know that?
He doesn't know yet.
Right, do you like documentary or TV soap?
Definitely documentary. Haven't watched soaps in years.
You can always catch up on them though.
No.
Do you like listening to praise or do you like singing it? What would you maybe prefer?
A bit of both.
Bit of both. Good. Okay. A little palette. I like the shape of that. It looks like a wee dog's paw, although there's two many, but it's nice. Oh, upside down. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Maybe more of a night owl.
Okay.
I don't really function in the mornings.
Do many of us? Not too sure. Okay. If you had to choose one of these, which one would you fear to? The New Testament or the Old Testament?
New
Testament. Okay. If you're out for a meal, would you go for a starter quicker or a pudding quicker?
Pudding.
You're my girl. Pudding girl. Okay. Crisps or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Oh, yay! Dairy Milk or Galaxy? What would you prefer, Dairy Milk or Galaxy?
Galaxy, I think. I like whole nut. If I was going for anything, it would be like a whole nut or something like that.
Oh,
I like something with a bit of crunch in it.
Aye, they're nice. They're nice. Are you a hugger or not a hugger?
No, not a hugger at
all. Okay. And the last one, do you like to start Christmas in November or start it in December?
The middle of December, after. Not before it.
Oh no, we'll be starting earlier. Well, listen, Kirsty, this past year before COVID, you'd went to a few PW meetings.
Uh-huh.
May I ask you what made you go to them?
Well, it was the first one of the term last year in September, and it was Sarah Cameron was giving her testimony, and I know her through the journaling group, and Pamela Kernahan had asked me to go along, so I went there and I enjoyed it, so I went anytime I was able to after that.
Very good. Well, that was good that Pamela was able to ask you and that you responded to it.
Yeah.
Good. That was really good. Why do you think it is important to have a support group of friends?
Well, I've had a lot of support through people I've met in the journaling group, as well as that go to PW. I just think that within a group, a large group, there's all different people from different backgrounds, and they'll be in different stages of their Christian walk. Some will have experienced similar things that you're maybe going through, and you can chat to them and get advice and support that way.
Very true. How would you like to learn from a girl who's an older Christian than yourself?
Well, again, I just think that the older Christian has probably, I would consider the older Christian not only to be older in age, but further along in their walk, like have been a Christian for longer. And I think that they can definitely be more knowledgeable and provide really good advice, biblical advice.
Yeah. Well, how long is it that you've been a Christian, Kirsty?
2 years.
2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And what advice would you give to a new Christian woman?
I would say that as soon as you can, to get yourself into a church, and to going regularly and meeting up with people within the church, and even going to like a separate group, because you'll find, like on a Sunday you don't really maybe have the chance to fellowship or whatever, whereas at the likes of PW or the journaling meetings you can kind of talk more general. And that's where I would say I've met most people through the church.
And you make friendships that way. You started off in the journaling group, didn't you? Yeah,
I came to the journaling group even before I was a Christian, so.
But it's nice to see how you joined one and then it kind of filtered through.
It led, yeah. Well, like I was brought up in First Ahoghill Church, and I know a lot of the people there, but I wouldn't really have known them as well as I do now.
Yes.
Or like be as friendly with them as I would be now.
Yes. But as you say, it's that kind of social aspect too, to know them, and then we learn from each other that way.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Okay, Kirsty, thank you very much for meeting me on this evening through Zoom.
Okay.
All before COVID, we would never have done this, you wouldn't have.
I know, we wouldn't have needed Zoom.
No. It's all, none of us ever heard of it. Well, I didn't anyway.
No, I hadn't.
How are you finding it when you're doing things through Zoom? Or because we did a few things on the journaling group too, didn't we, through Zoom?
It's good that we have the technology to be able to do those kinds of things, where like I have said all along that if this had happened like in the 90s, we would all have been lost. You would have seen and heard from nobody.
Very true.
For weeks. But we're very fortunate that we have the technology that we do. Yeah.
And we've all had to learn, and like Rotha, who's done the other interview, she's an older lady, but she's persevered and she's got to know how to do Zoom, so it's lovely. It's lovely to see that, to keep that connection. So it is. Well, Kirsty, thank you so much.
All right.
Have a good day tomorrow.
Okay, thank
We'll
you.
chat again. Bye.
Okay, see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.